You black women who are supporting black men, you need to know when it's time to get out. Filthy stuff. Let me show you what I saw in this Black Men Love Black Goddess. What Black Goddess now means to the black men. Black men don't respect black women. I don't give a damn how many of these homosexual freaks and down low want to come in here and insult me. Black men don't respect black women. If black men respected black women, they'd get off their lazy ass and build them an empire. But they don't do it because black men don't respect black women. Let me now please show you, my lovely black sisters, what I found on these sites. Be prepared for a shock. You better go and get some coffee or whiskey. Get some coffee or whiskey, or even better still, you better call up a psychiatrist. I'll wait for you while you call the psychiatrist to sit there and counsel you. You think a black man loves you? Watch this.
Welcome to my channel. This is Divested Diamonds. You have arrived. Hello, ladies. Please do me a favor and click the like button as you watch this video. Thank you kindly. So, let's talk about mammying and caping and why it never works out for black women. Now, I'm going to be covering two stories today. One is of a young 19-year-old woman who deemed it necessary to fight a grown-ass man in trying to protect her 22-year-old boyfriend who was being arrested for attempted deletion as well as drugs and weapons charges. Now, some of you have seen this post in the community tab, but we're going to talk about it a little bit more today. The other story is of a young woman who just came to the realization that pandering to black men and keeping them as your only dating option probably isn't such a good idea, because it doesn't matter how much you pedestalize them, praise them, they will always find something wrong with you. Without further ado, let's get started with the story of Tamani Crum and her boyfriend, Elvin James. This story went viral a few days ago due to the, how shall I put this? Due to its disturbing nature. This incident took place in Harlem on Tuesday, by the way. Tamani Crum, whose boyfriend was being arrested on some very serious charges, decided to fight for her man, right? By lunging at Detective Kendo Kinsey. Now, she flung her fists at the detective, slapping at his head and shoulders. No, not the shampoo, her actions. So she flung her fists, slapping at his head and shoulders as he tried to arrest her boyfriend. To get her out of the way, Kinsey, the detective, punched her in the face. What is she, like 105, possibly 110 pounds, soaking wet? She dropped to the ground like a rag doll. It almost seemed unreal. Let's take a look.
You think the little girl, bro? Come on, y'all is wildin'. They wildin', man. Y'all wildin', bro. Why would you do that? Why would you do that, bro? Bro, why would you do that, bro? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. You hit up, man. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
The confrontation interaction was filmed by a bystander and quickly went viral on social media as another apparent example of, quote unquote, police brutality. Unfortunately for Miss Crum, the police unions and NYC Mayor Eric Adams, who is also a black man, are standing by the detective, whom they say had no choice but to use force to neutralize Tamani. James, her boyfriend, was armed at the time, as were the cops. NYPD unions and police associations say the video proves how brazen criminals have become and that the young woman should never have tried to interfere. Sadly, I agree. She should have never, at any given time, inserted herself in that situation. She went Wakanda warrior on that detective and got flattened like a starfish. Unfortunately, putting your big girl panties on and trying to fight like a man will only get your ass handed to you. It's common sense. This was a high-stress situation. Emotions were running high, and both her boyfriend and the police had weapons on them. What did she think was going to happen? Black women who engage in this type of foolery don't seem to learn, do they? She's lucky she didn't get shot. You should be careful who it is that you run up on. Spitting in people's faces, slapping and throwing punches will get you unalived. This is the same type of behavior that makes others think that we are all masculine. Obviously, such is not the case, but this is mostly what they see on social media. A bunch of uncouth Wakanda babes fighting for their career criminal men, yelling in the street like fishwives. Not a good look. Also, they keep forgetting how these black men feel about them. This is why the detective had no qualms flipping her over like a pancake. They don't care about you. Keep giving them excuses to put their hands on you and see what happens. Don't run up on any police officer, black, white, or other. See, she is too young for this nonsense. But this behavior is not surprising at all. A lot of these young women in these struggle-of situations with these black males think that loving someone should involve struggle, pain, and pointless activism. But look at her. The struggle is all on her now. She ended up being arrested, and for what? A Dusty who wouldn't do the same for you? A Dusty who would forget about you swiftly if you were the one being put behind bars? It probably wouldn't take him that long to start dating someone else if the shoe was on the other foot. Stop the madness. And she's only 19. 19! At 19 years old, you should be thinking about a career, what you're going to do for the rest of your life, and not being a ride or die chick for a career criminal. He chose this lifestyle, okay? He chose his path. Why the hell do you think that you need to go down with him? But let's continue. Like I've just mentioned, Tamani was charged with obstruction, but released from custody on Wednesday night after a brief court appearance. She'll be returning to court on October 11th. Her boyfriend remains behind bars on a $300,000 cash bond. And of course, the family aren't happy about this. They're saying that the detective was wrong. The only thing that they won't be able to do in this case is claim racism, right? Because that's normally the case in these types of situations. Rather than look at the whole case from an unbiased perspective, 9 times out of 10, people tend to pull the race card. They run with their emotions first. But what they won't be doing in this case is claim that this was a racist or bigoted act. You see, here's what these types of black women need to understand. Black men generally tend to view you as they would other men. They don't have a problem putting their hands on you. But what I've also noticed is that some of you toxic black women are used to this kind of behavior. Rather than sit your asses down, you want to fight men. And once they give you that work, you'd be the first to complain on how badly they treat you. Ask yourselves this. Have you ever known the majority of black men to be gentlemen? I'll wait. This is not the first time that a cop has pummeled a black woman to the ground. I saw another video about 2.5 years ago where something similar took place. That story happened in Baltimore, right? There was some sort of protest going on, and this seemingly black woman, right, runs a red light in front of cops, by the way. They stop her, ask her to get out of the car, which she does. She gets out of the car and starts spitting at the officers, according to the report. Now, you can actually see her in the video sitting on the ground with her legs spread apart, right? In a split position, almost. She gets up and starts yelling, "Don't touch me, don't touch me. I feel afraid," or something to that effect, right? So there were 3 cops around her, 2 white cops and a black cop. So one of the white cops tries to grab her by the arm, and she swiftly punches him in the face. Not once, but twice. This gentleman did not retaliate. The black cop comes along and gives this woman 1 punch across the face, and she dropped like a sack of potatoes to the ground. She was out, cold, for 2 minutes. Later, they put her in cuffs and took her away. All I'm trying to say is, these are not the types of situations where any woman should be exercising her toughness. This shit doesn't work. Now, I'm not sure what was going on with that woman in Baltimore. She didn't seem quite right. Could have been mental health issues, drugs perhaps, could have been anything. So yeah, black women need to be careful out there, defending the indefensible and acting tough. You will be starfished. So what I will do is put the link to that video in the description bar below so you can go watch it in your own time. And lastly, on the Tamani crime case, a statement was issued by Sergeant Betsy Brantner Smith, the spokeswoman for the National Police Association and a former cop who spent 30 years in law enforcement on the outskirts of Chicago. She told DailyMail.com that any outrage should be directed towards Tamani and not the detective. Tamani Crum, a 19-year-old adult, made the decision to insert herself into a very dangerous situation as NYPD detectives and officers attempted to arrest a wanted murder suspect who was armed with a loaded firearm. It's clear by the video that she was interfering with a lawful arrest. Detective Kinsey, at first, tried to deflect her and push her out of the way, but she persisted and grabbed at his arm. So he had no choice but to escalate his use of force. Miss Crumb is not a child, and her gender is irrelevant. Let me repeat that. Miss Crumb is not a child, and her gender is irrelevant. She created this situation, and NYPD merely responded. This is exactly what I'm talking about, ladies. Stop trying to be saviors of men, because you will be treated like one. The sad thing is, I haven't seen one comment supporting this young lady for her behavior. It doesn't pay to cape. Stay in your lane and go about your business. Don't put on your masculine suit, acting like a man, and expect to be treated like a lady. That's not how it works. Gone are the days when men would think twice about putting hands and feet on a woman. You need to be careful out there because people will match your energy. Okay, so another caping moment comes from this beautiful young lady who posted this TikTok video. Take a look.
I'm not even looking for sympathy with this video, but please stop what you're doing and listen to this. So I'm a pro-Black content creator on TikTok, and a few weeks ago, I made a post saying that I would date outside of my race. I still said I would still date Black men, just additionally dating outside of my race. Ever since then, I have been bashed, attacked, and harassed by Black men. They have literally made spam accounts harassing me in my DMs. They have made posts about me spreading lies. They have found out my address and found out my mother's name and have threatened to hurt my mother, have threatened to find my sister in her school and hurt her. They have told me to watch out when I leave my house because they are going to quote unquote end me. They have told me to kill myself or they will do it for me. I honestly have lost 13 pounds in the past 2 weeks because my anxiety has been super high. And I literally can't fathom the fact that I feel more in danger from my own men than any other group. And the people who are supposed to protect me are the ones who are literally trying to, and I quote, kill me. And every time I speak up about this and I get emotional, people tell me that I'm too sensitive. And I think you guys forget that people who are content creators are still human. We have feelings. We are like famous people. They're everyone who is known, content creator, all of that. We are still human. I don't know why you guys think that we are just brick walls that are going to be unbruised after you literally show so much hate and threaten our lives. So I'm really just begging y'all to please stop, because you're not only putting me in danger, you're putting my family in danger. And it's really not that deep. A Black woman who is dating all races is really not that deep for you guys to go to this level and do this. I'm sorry the post blew up. It wasn't meant for everybody. I was speaking to my followers only. I didn't expect it to blow up, but you guys are taking it so far and I'm really just exhausted. I'm tired. I'm depressed. My anxiety's high. And I just feel in so much danger. I can't even leave my house. And I'm at a loss for words because I really was not expecting this, especially from Black men.
These are the dangers of being the keeper of a non-existent community. This is what happens to panderers of Black men and the so-called community. You get no appreciation because guess what? They don't care. This is why all these content creators on YouTube who pander to Black men are always out there pushing extreme views about swirlers and divestors. Well, according to them, we're one and the same. But anyway, a lot of these women know the rules, which are coddle, pander, and lie to these males at any cost to maintain the cash flow. Anytime these women have gone against Black men, they have been attacked online and threatened in real life. This is typical behavior of Black males, and it's sad that she didn't know that. She said that she's pro-Black. That is her first problem right there. This young lady put her womanhood on the back burner and put race as her first identifier. She seems young and too inexperienced to understand the demonic behavior exhibited by most of these Black males. So I really hope, for her sake, that she learns something valuable from this. It's very sad that the moment that she said that she would explore her dating options to include other men, they still felt the need to attack, threaten, and dox her. What does her mother have to do with this? It doesn't pay to cape or pander to males of the so-called community. Do you see how quickly they threatened and doxed her? Most of these males are lonely, they are sad, they feel rejected, they are angry, and one argument away from deleting somebody, preferably a Black woman. Give them a reason, any reason at all, and they'll do it with pleasure. Leave these males alone. It doesn't help to uplift a group of males who spend most of their free time disrespecting women who look like them. And why would you refer to them as our men? You need to stop that nonsense. These are not your men. They are for the streets. They belong in Blackistan. That's their kingdom. A lot of you Black male identified women will learn. Hopefully. Just hope that it won't be too late for you. These are the same men unaliving you every 5.5 hours. Why would you even consider including them in your dating pool? They are ticking time bombs. Honestly, I don't know what she was trying to prove or achieve by announcing her inclusion of other races of men in her dating pool. Why make the announcement? Just do it. People like myself and other women on this platform encourage Black women and girls to divest from this so-called community because we've seen the dangers, okay? We've seen the stats. They don't look so good. It behooves Black women and girls to leave the so-called community. When people look at my channel, they at least have an idea what my content is about. It's in the name. She spends a lot of her time catering to Blackness and Black issues, with Black males at the center of her conversations, I'm assuming. Her mentioning other races of men sounds like an attack to a lot of these deranged Black males. This was a dangerous move for her. If I were her, I would involve law enforcement at this point. Let your local police handle it. File a complaint and inform the FBI about it. Once they start threatening to delete you and your family, that becomes a bigger issue. It's not social media anymore, it's personal. And I do hope that she has reached out to the appropriate people for help because this is unacceptable. She didn't disrespect Black men at all. All she said was that she would include other groups of men in her dating pool. And these crazies think that she deserves to be deleted for that? That's insane. That's wild. Meanwhile, they're sitting online telling you how you're the bottom of the barrel. Like you're supposed to care, right? It's crazy.
Look at girls. We just look at the black girls like they at the bottom of the barrel for us.
Listen, bro, the problem isn't your preference, it's the presentation. And this is the same problem with almost everybody on here that says it. No one says, hey, my preference is, and leaves it alone. Everybody got to throw that extra dig in there, right? Even you said it, bottom of the barrel. These sisters ain't bottom of the barrel, my guy. Do you understand? You putting down your mother, your sister, your auntie, your grandma, anybody who's a black woman in your family when you say shit like that? Have your preferences. It's okay. But stop going the extra dig, man. These sisters need to be protected, my guy. And you out here just throwing dirt and opening the door for other people to keep disrespecting them. That shit ain't cool. Sisters, come fuck with me. I knuck and buck for y'all. You don't like my preference? Fuck y'all. Argue with your daddy, not me.
On that note, what are your thoughts on what's been discussed here today? Please leave your thoughts and comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And remember, ladies, divest, divest, divest. Thank you so much for watching. This is Divested Diamonds, and I'll see you next time. Bye, diamonds.